Everyone, Shiv here. Alright, so, as you can see, we're doing our review for Battlefleet Gothic. So what is Battlefleet Gothic, you might ask? Well, Battlefleet Gothic is, well, a translation of the tabletop game known as Battlefleet Gothic, which was a space tactical game. It's basically Fleet Armada style type playing, based in the Warhammer 40k universe. It was actually a lot of fun. If you ever played Warhammer 40k, this is the naval aspect of that. I played it a lot. I was a rogue trader, so I did tournaments, leagues, all sorts of fun stuff, promotional stuff, train and teaching people how to play it. A lot of fun. And I've painted almost every single one of these ships at least a dozen times. Alright, so when I heard that they were actually translating that game into a PC game, I was like, oh, cool, this ought to be fun. Then I saw who the actual developer was. I was like, okay, I'm a little sketchy now. But then I saw the publisher was Focus Interactive, and they generally don't put their stamp on garbage. So that gave me a little bit of hope. So now, let's ask the question. Did this meet my expectations? Ironically enough, this exceeded a lot of my expectations on the pure concept of the game as well as the mechanics in use, with a few notable exceptions. Now, there are some things about this game I really do not like, but as it says, it's a work in progress. This is a beta version. A lot of these things can be ironed out in the actual finished product, and hopefully these guys will fucking do that. Alright? So, let's take a look at some of the basic stuff here. So you've got your Imperial Navy, you got Chaos, you got Orcs, and you got Eldar. You can't play Eldar right now. These are the factions you can play. Now, I do know that they are going to be adding in Space Marines. Not sure how that's going to work, whether or not that's just going to be a ship you can add on to the Imperials or Chaos, or is it going to be its own separate faction? Nobody really knows yet. And there's a lot of talk of both Tyranid and Tau coming into the game, though they seem a little sketchy when it comes to Necrons. Even though they have a much more complete fleet than fucking Tau. But hey, I digress. Alright. So each faction has their own strength and own weakness. However, a lot of these strengths can be indulged with the upgrade and skill system, and all the weaknesses can pretty much be negated through the upgrade system, making a lot of the advantages and disadvantages that would normally kind of dictate gameplay almost non-existent. Now, I kind of understand why they did this, but I also feel that they went a little too far with this, and a lot of those things need to be rebalanced. But like I said, beta version, still about a month till launch. They've got time to fix this. Hopefully they're listening. The game also uses a fog of war system. This also negates one significant advantage that was normally given to Chaos, and that's the range of their shooting, as well as their launch bays, which are pretty long range to begin with. Now, the way the gameplay actually works here is you can kind of know something's there. You see these little red dots on the screen, but unless you shoot a probe there or have a ship nearby that can identify it, or maybe they use a special order that actually identifies them to you, you can't really target it to shoot. So that's a huge problem. That's a very huge problem. Unless they want to start allowing ships with lances to be able to shoot those guys at 12k, I think they're going to probably have to scrap how that mechanic works or increase the detection range. I'm sorry, you're telling me I can't see something in space that's 12 miles away when their ship is literally 3 miles big? Fuck off. So yeah, there's that. That's kind of an issue in this game. It also kind of puts Chaos in a very negative position, but nowhere near as negative as the Imperial Navy, but again, we'll get to that. Alright, so we're going to take a look at Chaos, just so we can show off some of the coolness that is this game. Now, anybody who's played the tabletop knows that Chaos got these really fun things called the Marks of Chaos. Here they're called the Favors of Chaos, just because they wanted uniformity across all of their things. So yeah, here you got the Favors of Chaos. You got the Mark of Khorne, the Mark of Nurgle, the Mark of Slaanesh, and the Mark of Tzeentch. There are different analogs in each of the factions there, but they don't do the same thing. Nowhere near the same thing. And as a matter of fact, I would probably say Chaos has some of the most powerful favors out there. that can really affect stuff. And they also look badass as fuck. So here we go. We're going to take a look here at Slaanesh. Slaanesh is the god of torment, torture, and exquisite pain. Literally sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Not even kidding. So look at that. So you got some really cool, like, you know, musical organ pipes there. Some skulls on it. Some spikes, some whips and chains. Leather. Yeah, looks cool as shit. Though some of those heads do look like, you know, baby doll heads and all that. But that's supposed to be like bondage gear and shit like that, I guess. I don't know. Not my fucking thing. I never was a Slaanesh fan. But, Papa Nurgle! Here you go, Nurgle. Now look at that. That very similar ship, but look at how much detail you get on this. You got tentacles that are moving around. You've got boils on it. You've got a pestilence cloud. Yeah, you've even got like little jabs of bones sticking out. That thing looks evil as fuck. Hell yeah. That is an evil as fuck ship. It looks awesome. But let's say you're more bloodthirsty than that. You're not all for, you know, plagues and poxes. You want to fucking just rip asses and drink blood. Alright, well, you've got Khorne. Khorn. Alright. Khorne the Blood God. Yeah, their ships basically look like, you know, the cover of almost every death metal album ever made. Seriously, like Judas Priest is going, fucking hell. So yeah, really nice. You got some goat horns there. You got skulls. You got devil looking shit. Yeah, it's badass looking. But that's not all. There are 4 marks, 4 gods. Tzeentch, the god of change and all-powerful forbidden knowledge. Yeah, this is really fucking amazing. Now, each one of these abilities comes with, you know, either a stat, augmentation, and or a special ability. In the case of Tzeentch, you get 2 special abilities. In the case of Slaanesh, you get 2 special abilities, one of which is basically taunt. For Nurgle, you actually get 2 passive abilities, but they're all really strong passive abilities. I hate to say it, they really are. And for Khorne, you get a passive and an active ability. So yeah, these are probably some of the best favors in the game. But like I said, every faction has their own set of favors. Orcs are pretty unique and fit very nicely to them. Imperials, however, feel very generic, very bland, very boring, and a couple of them felt like the developers were not even fucking trying. Even the naming and the color scheming felt like they were not trying. And I don't really want to badmouth these guys, because I think they made a pretty terrific fucking game. But I think you guys may want to go back and redo those favors. At least punch them up, change them around, because they're very boring. They offer no real significant advantage, unlike the ones for Chaos and for Orcs. Alright. So, we talked a lot about, you know, the fog of war and things of that nature. So, I'm going to actually play a game now as Chaos. I've had to learn how to play them in a very unique way, which is a little difficult to do, but it works. Also, so you guys can see this game in action. I mean, I can sit here and drone on and on about things. Alright, so our scenario is going to be Cruiser Clash. Before any match, you'll see what a scenario is. This will tell you how you should probably set up your fleet and, you know, what to expect out of it. They're not all just go out, kill. Alright? You've got convoy. You could either be the attacker or defender in that. And what that is basically you got to get a certain amount of these convoy ships across the fucking map and pray that your opponents don't fucking just, you know, zerg right on top of it and shoot you to death. Or shoot them to death and thus take the victory that way. You've got Breakthrough, which also has a attacker defend thing, which is you got to clear out these 4 little like defense posts and then get at least a couple of your line ships into the disengagement zone. You've got Data Recovery, which is one of the most annoying ones in the game. Please, God, get rid of it. Which is the space version of Keep Away meets Capture the Flag meets Tag You're It. It's a very, very mind-fucking tactical and annoying game mode. There's a couple other ones as well. There's Space Station Assault, where you're either the attacker or defender. There's Planetary Assault. There's a couple others. There's no Exterminatus, and I'm really disappointed in that, being, a fan of Chaos. No Exterminatus makes me cry every time, guys. Okay, so Cruiser Clash. We're actually just going to take battle cruisers and cruisers. Just because that battleship is very fucking expensive. And this allows me to basically take almost a very large complement of ships. Which, since we're going up against orcs, is probably going to be a good thing. Considering they're going to be ramming the shit out of us. And what we're going to want to do is basically keep them at bay and just, circle around. Luckily, we brought our Slanesh ship, so they get a little too close. I start damaging one of them. I can actually force them to run away. There's an auto-deploy, which I never really cared for. So yeah, we're going to just set up a straight, standard line here. And there are some advantages and disadvantages to this. Advantage 1, you can do some really good focus fire. Disadvantage, they can also do some really good focus fire with, say, like torpedoes and totally fuck you up. Alright. So we are ready, and
setting course.
Let's set that up. And we're going to use the tactical cogitator right away, and we need to find, there you are. And we're going to send that this way.
For the dark gods.
And now, let's see. Aha. So we're going to all come in on him. I need to find, there you are, this probe. See, we don't exactly know what is there, but we're learning. Alright.
Return to normal function.
Now, all these ships are broadsiders, which means,
Tremble, for chaos comes.
I have to be facing sideways in order for all my shots to be overly effective. The problem with this is that they could, as you're normally doing a maneuver known as crossing the T, since this is orcs, they can just go, oh, okay, completely fuck you up. That's combat tactics in a nutshell, guys. You also notice we've got a really nice stagger formation thing going here. And we completely avoided their little tactical probe. Ours is getting close to
sighted an enemy ship.
Sighting something, and we did. Alright.
Just show us something to kill. We are unstoppable.
But you'll notice it doesn't last, right? It's like, oh, I found you, but now you're gone. So, again, that whole spotting thing does not work overly good in this game. Alright, so now they're using special abilities. Alright, I'm going to fuse this up.
Engaged.
And what I'm doing here is I'm...
Just show us something to kill. Moving to those coordinates. For the ruinous powers.
Alright.
Your orders.
And we got a successful lightning strike boarding action.
Ready eternally.
But we're about to be flanked, which is not a good scenario. And here they go with the charging.
We'll follow your command for now. We've sighted an enemy ship. We've lost an escort ship. Engines hot. We have sighted an enemy ship.
I'm gonna send our Chaos Terminators here.
Return to normal function. Setting course.
We are taking a...
Command me. For the dark gods.
Now he's trying to get out, which it won't let me execute.
Your orders. Ready eternally.
That didn't matter anyway. He's all fucked up.
Command me. Forward
We're gonna
to the
use,
slaughter.
oof. That sucked.
Speed set.
That sucked hard, guys.
Blocking weapons. Just show us something to kill.
But we are making them run,
Orders.
though we are losing a lot of our ships. Even in PvP, orcs are just so strong that there's not much we can do about it.
Ready eternally. For the dark gods. Just show us something to kill. Cruising speed set.
So we lost a couple of ships here, but now we're isolating them.
Moving to those coordinates.
And
Prepare my ship or else.
we can now start playing
For the
our
dark
game.
gods. We've sighted an enemy ship. Your orders. Command me. Ready eternally.
And that taunt just really fucked us over.
Command me. I'll follow your command. For now. Ready eternally. Set engines to full ahead.
Alright, insubordinate captain.
Cruising speed set. For the dark gods.
So he's left with a couple escorts, which one just died.
We'll follow your command. For now. Blocking weapons. Ready eternally. Your orders. Just show us something to kill.
Took out his generator.
Setting course.
He's got a hull breach. Engines are down.
We're unstoppable. Your orders. Setting course.
And he go boom. I think he actually got away. Maybe. I don't know.
For the dark gods. for the ruinous powers!
Yeah, he got away. So yeah, even though well within my medium and minimum gun range, because he was in the cloud, I couldn't see him unless I'm like right on top of him. Now we ended up winning that, but at a pretty steep cost of basically 2 of our ships. Now again, this is PvE, it's not PvP, and as you saw, that taunt ability was really nasty. Now imagine every one of those ships having that, to where you could just basically stop their most valuable ship, the one thing that's going to probably help lead them to victory. Imagine locking that completely out of play. Yeah, that's not a fun way of doing it. There's no diminishing return on that skill, so there's a lot of people complaining about that. But that is basically the game. Now, when your ship gets blown up, you either have to wait 2 turns, or you spend some of that hard-earned renown to bring it back into play, which we just did there. Now, depending on the classification of ship, determines how much it's going to cost. So because of that, we basically made no money. But what's really cool is escorts don't really have that effect. You could actually just have a bunch of fucking escorts, and it's not going to hurt you. Mind you, escorts in this game are very underpowered. Very underpowered, with the exception of orc ships for some odd reason. Their ability to actually deal damage onto the enemy versus what the enemy can do back to them is completely garbage. But hey, I didn't make the game. It would be nicer to see the escorts being a little bit beefier. And as you do level up, you do have the ability of adding on upgrades to them. So you could add in more shields, more health. But unfortunately, because it's an escort, you could only add in 50 more shield and 50 more health, which would still double up on it, though. So it is what it is. The detection range of 5K is way too small. Way too small. It actually needs to be closer to like 9K. All right? I'd say 9K would be appropriate. 12K is wrong. Now, there's also a scaling system, which I find a little bit shitty in this game in comparison to the tabletop. Now, in the tabletop, when you wanted to add things, it was a universal cost no matter what the ship was. A Mark of Chaos was 35 points, for example. Here, however, let me show you something. Alright, so I'm going to go favor, and let's see. It's a light cruiser. I think I want him to be Nurgle, right? Yeah, let's do Nurgle. So I'm going to click this. It's going to cost 200, right? Alright, 200 doesn't seem that bad. We get another plague ship. Alright. Well, hey, what about our battleship? I'd like to add something to that. I would like that thing to look cool. Hey, how about we make that Nurgle too? No, that costs 1,600. It scales up pretty outrageously. Give you an example. This the battleship is 1,600. The battle cruiser was 800. Cruisers are 400, and light cruisers are 200. So, but as you're getting these cruisers, the amount that they actually cost is way significantly less. Like the battleship only cost me 400 renown to get, and then I gotta spend another 1,600 to give it a mark. That's fucking bullshit. But again, you're going to want to have some form of progression so you feel like you actually accomplished something. And it's kind of like setting a goal. Alright, so I can completely understand that. I can. But I think 4 times the amount is a little bullshit, guys. Come on now. In the case of light cruisers, it's 200 for free, which I think is a little weird. Cruisers, those ended up costing us like, what, 100? And you want 4 times that there too. And so it's literally 4 times the amount, whatever the cost of the ship is. I don't agree with that. I don't think that's a right placement here. So okay, so that's pretty much the video of it. So my review of this game. Solid basis, of gameplay and design. I think they did very good. There are a couple of animation issues I really would like them to fix up. I kind of feel like the marks or the favors on the Imperium are a little weak. They really are. With the exception of the Adeptus Mechanis and the Inquisition. I think those are pretty spot on. But the Imperial Navy and the Adeptus Astartes one, those should not even be there. There are many other aspects within the Imperium that you could choose for that I think would have worked out a lot better. The Imperium favors are so bland, so vanilla, so underwhelming that it's almost not even worth taking, with the exception of Adeptus Mechanis. Let's see. Orcs really need to be rebalanced. All their frontal, big, hitting, hard guns need to have that damage reduced. Their rate of fires also need to be reduced. Their accuracy needs to be dropped from 75, 50, 25 to 66, 33, 25. Or 60, 40, 20 would be about the most accurate there. And the reason I say that is you have ways of basically equating out that mid-range accuracy to the same as your up-close accuracy, and I don't think that's very good. You know, if you can negate the accuracy penalty, there's absolutely nothing to stop that class from being, or that race from being completely overly dominating. So yeah, damage outputs on them need to be changed a little. Rate of fires either need to be lessened, or the rate of fires on Imperials and Chaos need to be increased to where they're shooting faster. I find it very hard to believe that well-developed and organized factions such as Chaos, which I know, organized Chaos, and Imperium, which have the machinery for loading and this, that, and the other, have a worse rate of fire than bunch of brute idiots in space in a trash heap. But, you know, that's just me. That is just me. But, yeah, each one of the factions has a very unique way of playing, and they're a lot of fun. Orc is probably one of my more favorite ones to play, but even I will admit it's broken. Imperium is an acquired taste. Chaos is painful as fuck to play. When I was playing this on the stream, people were like, holy shit, did you just win that mission using Chaos against Orc? I was like, yeah. Oh my god, you're a god. I was like, thank you, I think. So that should tell you something, guys, that, you know, maybe, just maybe, you guys need to really re-examine some stuff. Now, when it comes to Eldar, this is going to get even further complicated. Mostly because their ships are very squishy, and they had some very unique rule sets that applied to their ships. So I can't wait to see how they're going to tackle those issues. Now, the other big complaint I have is the Fog of War system. I'm sorry. That needs to go. That is probably the biggest complaint I have in this game, is the Fog of War. It completely negates any range abilities whatsoever. It negates lances left and right. Oh, but you have probes. Right, so I have to use a very limited skill slot for a probe. Alright? Now, not everybody bunches their ships up to where a probe's going to identify them all, and they don't stay identified nearly as long to be viable. If I identify you with a probe, you should stay identified for at least 3 minutes. Not fucking, oh, the probe went by, it's gone. Alright, so yeah, I kind of feel really bad about that. I don't really like it. So I would either say get rid of probes and get rid of the Fog of War and added something else for that. Maybe something that you could use to kind of pulse the area in a cloud. I like that idea. That way, see if anybody's hiding in the cloud. That's a really good idea there. But, and also fits thematically in the Battlefleet Gothic lore. But no, that Fog of War really does do this game a lot of injustice, and it pretty much favors everything being up close, point blank attack, which, by the way, is exactly where Orcs want shit to be, thus why they are the most dominantly played faction in PvP. So, yeah, if the developers could figure out a fine balance in the Fog of War system, if not get rid of it, and they balance out orcs, I think this game could be quite amazing. It would be a lot of fun, and I would definitely hold, some a lot more value for this game. As it stands right now, if I completely ignore the orc issue, if I just completely ignore the orc issue, I give this game about a 75. The Fog of War is literally accounting for about 20% of that negative portion in there. The other 5% has to do with some of the animations, as well as the Imperial's favors just are kind of underwhelming. So yeah, but when I add in the orcs here, that drops it down to about 66%, which last time I checked, 66% is a D. That does not mean this is a bad game, but it's definitely not where it needs to be for release. And like I said, this game is a lot of fun if you can overlook those little bit of issues. I'm not even kidding, those little bit of issues. But the Fog of War one, that's definitely going to always drag you guys down. And, well, the balancing issue is also going to drag you down. Now, I actually had a conversation with one of the developers of this game on Twitter, and, basically I told him, hey, your game is broken as fuck. You need to learn what the fuck balance is. Everything that you did with orcs is so not accepted in the Codex Astartes. I mean, it just blew my fucking mind. The Codex does not approve. But, we had a very nice conversation about it after I calmed down a little bit. And, I don't know. They seem to have an idea that where things need to go and how they need to do things. And, long as people keep putting back positive feedback in the forums, I think they'll actually get it right. So, only time will tell. Now, here's the big question. Should you buy this game? Well, depends. And I say that. If you like naval combat games, sure, go right ahead. If you like RTS games, sure. It's literally RTS without all the resource management. If you like Warhammer 40k universe, sure, go right ahead. And if you have some patience to wait for the developers to fix their game, sure, it's definitely worth it. You will also get a special bonus involving Space Marines, which I'm still not 100% what that exactly is. I've read it like 5 times on Steam, and it doesn't really answer anything, but hey, whatever. So anyway, that's my review for this game. It's a lot of fun. I'm sorry this review is so damn long, but this game has so much depth and coolness to it, and I really wanted to showcase it all. Now, I know I didn't cover the favors of some of the other nations and all that, but hey, guess what? This would take way too long of a video. We'd be at like 45 minutes, and God's honest truth, I ain't got that much time. So, thanks all for watching. This ship saying, stay safe, have fun, daka daka daka, peace out.